Well, meantime, if your New Year's resolution was to get fit, you are not alone. But when it comes to shedding those kilos, there's a lot of myths out there about what really works.
Isn't there plenty of them? From intermittent fasting to cutting carbs and even walking 10,000 steps a day. The fitness fads can certainly be overwhelming. So here to share the facts and bust the myths as well as medical expert Dr. Kieran Kennedy live in Sydney. Dr. Kieran, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us because we all want to know what's the truth and what's, a bit of bull. 10,000 steps a day, I reckon there's a watch industry that has been built on this. Is that the answer to weight loss?
Good morning, guys. Lovely to be here. And you have taken the words out of my mouth there. You're absolutely spot on. We hear a lot about 10,000 steps, and I can confirm that this actually came through in the 1960s from a pedometer brand, of all things. So science did not start this one, marketing did. So 10,000 steps is great to get your daily calorie sort of output up and to get moving, but there's nothing magical about 10,000 steps in and of itself. So spot on.
You've just broken hearts right around the country.
My own as well.
I think the thing, 10,000 is such a, nice, clean, round number, isn't it? But I reckon sometimes 10,000, especially if you're working in an office sitting down all day, it can be a little bit difficult and it feels like you can't quite reach that goal. Kieran, tell us, is walking the key to heading towards your fitness journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the really important thing to ram home here, because if you can't hit 10,000 steps, please know that any amount of steps below 10,000 is still really, really fantastic for our health overall. There's actually some really good evidence that the best health benefits might actually come from between 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day. So, some is better than none is what we like to throw around in medicine. And so the more steps you can be getting, the better in terms of weight loss, fitness, overall health. But if you can't hit 10,000 a day because you're stuck at the desk or we're all back at work for the year, that is okay. Get what you can do, start slow, and know that even 2,000, 5,000 is still really, really great compared to not doing that amount.
You just made me feel so much better about the 1,963 steps I've done so far.
It's pretty good,
what are we, just before 9 a.m? So thank you very much, Doctor. That's a great start for me. Weight loss is a huge focus when it comes to fitness and physical health. It's as much about diet as it is about exercise. One of the big fads in this area is intermittent fasting. Is it actually effective or is it not working for us?
Yeah, a biggie here, and I think this time of year is when we get hit with all of these new sort of diet, fitness, health, weight loss sort of trends, and there's a whole lot of info flying around. Intermittent fasting is a big one that comes through. The key to know here, and hopefully a comfort for most people, is this is also not a magic bullet, and there's nothing at the moment evidence-wise showing that intermittent fasting is really any better than a calorie deficit or a diet overall, where we're just watching what we're eating and the calories that we're eating overall. I think for a lot of people, intermittent fasting is a good way to make sure we're not snacking perhaps, or that we're sticking to meal plans and goals. But if it doesn't work for you, then the comforting thing to know is that, again, intermittent fasting isn't a sort of silver bullet here, and it's making sure that we're moving, reducing our calorie counts, focusing on healthy foods and a balanced diet. That's the absolute key, rather than these sort of specific diets that we get pushed on us this time of year.
What about carbs, Kieran? Because they're such a dirty word when it comes to the diet and health industry, but are they actually that bad, or should you try and incorporate some good carbs into your diet?
Yeah, a good question, because the poor old carbs, they do really get bashed in the fitness circles and sort of for the health side of things. Again, comforting to know for us carb lovers that this isn't an all or nothing absolute as well. If we're lowering our carbs, that can be a way to reduce our calorie intake overall for the day, and we should be watching, I think, what we're eating carb-wise rather than the amount that we're eating necessarily. So if we can steer away from simple, refined, sugary carbs and go more towards the whole grains, complex carbs, fruit and vegetables, whole grains, that's the key here. And again, if we're reducing calories overall and increasing our activity, that can be a key for some to health and weight loss if that's what our goal is for this year. But not completely cutting out carbs or whole food groups. That's the key here, because we're not about sort of elimination diets. We're about making sure that we've got a balanced nutritional intake and that it's working for us in day-to-day life. And myself included, a lot of us need our bread and croissants and things every now and then, and I think it's knowing that that's okay.
All I heard was pasta is good for me.
That's the takeaway.
Double thumbs up for that.
That's
I
my
heard
sign-off
croissants,
right there.
and that's right up my alley. You mentioned yourself there, Dr. Kieran. What about curls, mate? Like, there's a bit going on there with those sleeves and those pipes.
There's a few croissants
Heavy
in there,
regime.
so I don't shy away from the pasta either. But no, I mean, I think a big thing I wanted to push here. Thankfully that you bring that up as well. Thank you, mate. You know, it's
No
about
worries.
moving however we want to and however feels best for us. You know, so for some of us that's going to be gym, that's going to be, you know, 10,000 pipe curls in a row. For others, it's going to be walking, running, Pilates. And I think the key when we're thinking about health and weight loss is that we're doing it for the enjoyment of it. We're doing it for health, and we're doing it thinking about weight and weight loss, if that's our goal, from a point that we feel most comfortable with. I think this can be a really hard time of year as well to get a lot pushed on us around weight loss, getting thinner, not being the size we are, and we really want to push back on that. This is about health and how you feel comfortable individually, not necessarily sort of weighing less being better. You know, so whether it's pipe curls or not, or walking, treadmill, whatever floats your boat, I think it's just getting out there, getting moving. That's the key.
Such a great point, because I think at this time of year particularly we can feel guilty for the mistakes that we've made during Christmas and New
100%.
Year. But as you say, the key word, it's all about balance. So Dr. Kieran Kennedy, thank you so much. Really great advice this morning. And I think Michael was taken with the gun show, shall we say?
Yeah, I'm glad I've got long sleeves on this morning.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Doctor.